Hey, folks, good evening. It is absolutely my pleasure being here with you this evening. Let me quickly share my screen so that we can have some visuals here. Give me 1 second. Mm. Okay, it is absolutely my joy being here with each of you. My name is Randy Schrader. If I had my choice, you notice I'm smiling because this is a message that I really enjoy delivering that I think is so beneficial to so many. I wish that I could invite you here to our home right now. I wish we could sit and share a cup of coffee and have a conversation, or sparkling water if you prefer. Um, but we can't do that. And so we're going to do our very best. I'm hoping so much that over the course of the next 30 minutes, no more, I'm able to properly express to you the magnitude of a possibility created by affiliation with a company we introduce here called Lev AI. Lev AI, that's an acronym which stands for Leveraging Artificial Intelligence. The company's message and vision is to deliver to the world, to the masses of humanity, excessive artificial intelligence, while at the same time delivering a suite of tools so sophisticated and remarkably communicative one with another that we could attract the most advanced technology firm to utilize our service as well. This is the future in your hands, accessible artificial intelligence. In order to frame the conversation, I would like to contemplate and consider these things. I remember in about 1982, I had a friend named Andy Kay, and he invited me to his home. Andy was the founder of a company called K-Pro Computer. It was a peer at that time of Apple Computer. And I remember Andy showing me, this was in 82 or 83, that great big clunky box and putting a big old 3.5 inch disc in, bigger the disc, the big old soft ones, whatever they were called. And he said, Randy, one day everybody in the world's going to use one of these, and all desks will have one. He had vision. I did not. I used computers. He was part of what provoked the computer revolution. What a difference in outcome we had. A few years later, another situation, I used the internet. And I remember that first crackling fax sound coming through the phone and waiting for what seemed ever for a website to open slowly. And if someone had told me at that moment that not only would I adopt the internet completely, but that if I did not, I would be left behind by the entire world, I didn't have the vision. I couldn't see it. I simply used it. I didn't become a conduit to other people's use. In my lifetime, those are those two experiences where there was about to be a complete, total societal change, where all of society would be required by societal norms to embrace new technology. And there was profound opportunity represented in those prior two moments. That is the same. We now find ourselves at a moment in time when artificial intelligence is the next global mandate. It cannot be stopped. The emergence of AI and the widespread adoption is already underway. The question is not whether or not we will use it. The question is, will we be a conduit to other people's use and therefore have an outsized financial gain? Of course, it gives me great joy and satisfaction. I don't like the word pride, but it gives me pride also to state that my son Blake has been chosen as the president of this company, not because he's my son. And I could not make that choice. I don't make those decisions in this company. I'm not an owner, officer, director, or employee. I am an independent agent building the business as you can be if you choose to be, or as perhaps you already are. Blake is well suited for this role. He grew up in the home of an entrepreneur. He knows what the sacrifices are that we make, and he understands that we must honor those sacrifices long term. Blake is an attorney. He understands the legal complexities of business on a national, a local, and a global scale. Blake also has been deeply steeped and rooted in direct selling, having run the Monavie office in Israel, all of Europe, all of Latin America, and ultimately North America, before becoming the CEO of a company called Medical Marijuana Incorporated, as he successfully guided that company through the end of the prohibition of cannabis. Um, we're lucky to have Blake running the business. And we're going to come around in a few more minutes and talk about who owns the company, having now talked about who primarily runs the company. Even before we read this slide and contemplate this quote, I remember when I first began contemplating and considering artificial intelligence, one of the first things I saw and heard that leaped off the page at me was Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, when he stated that artificial intelligence is more profound than anything we have done in the past. He said it is more profound than fire or electricity or anything we have done in the past. And so we need to properly frame our conversation. This is not about some concept that could double your revenue, for example. No, this is more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. That's not like doubling revenue, is it? That's something very different than that. And here we see Demis Hassabis, the deepest mind of DeepMind, who states the difference here with artificial intelligence is it's going to be 10 times bigger than the Industrial Revolution and maybe 10 times faster. Now, as I've contemplated the advent and global adoption of AI, began having conversations, and I've heard every different thought emanating from people, some excited, some confused, some fearful. And I've had some people say, is this not going to replace my job? And the answer is maybe. That's the truth. The answer is maybe. If before the Industrial Revolution, my principal occupation was in making harnesses and traces for draft horses who would pull plows, and I didn't adapt to the new technology, then did it hurt me? Absolutely it did. And so one should pay close attention, recognizing that the whole world will adopt AI, and some people will be victimized by that adoption until and unless they wake up and take aggressive action in the right direction. Other people will benefit in such a profound way. Let it be that you are among those who can see the inevitability of what now transpires, and don't be the one caught with a room full of draft horse collars. Instead, be the one who is the earliest initiator in your town of a tractor. That's what we're talking about right now. The difference here with AI is it's going to be 10 times bigger than the Industrial Revolution and maybe 10 times faster. And let's consider for a moment what the company's real vision is. There are today some 8 billion people on planet Earth. The projections I've read indicate that really, really smart people believe that as many as 6 billion of those people will have adopted AI sometime over the course of the next 6 years, and that another 10% will adopt in the next 4 years after that. It is the most compelling global movement that perhaps any of us have ever had a chance to actively participate in. And one of the reasons for this intense demand is that there are 388 million entrepreneurs in the world, small business owners, and they're all faced with this similar set of problems. No one wants to be left behind. And so literally there's a race towards the company and the technology. Why? Because Lev AI makes it simple for entrepreneurs to launch, market, and grow businesses and gain every single competitive advantage. There's about 4% of the global population that are already dipping their toe in the water of AI, trying to figure out what will this do for me? And those who are currently using are having modest productivity gains. Why are those productivity gains modest if this is more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past? Well, it is because people are attempting to use artificial intelligence, but they've not learned how to leverage artificial intelligence. It's because they're individual applications. One app for CRM, purchased from a vendor at a subscription price, an ongoing expense, and a need to learn. Another app for social media presence, growth, and maintenance, purchased from a vendor, which requires maintenance, knowledge, education, and what? And a subscription. A host of individual applications not communicating well one with another, all of which require knowledge on behalf of the user, and all of which have a subscription and a corresponding cost. There's a whole bunch of problems that go along with it. Notwithstanding those problems, people now attempting to use artificial intelligence are seeing meaningful gains in productivity. But once people learn how to leverage AI, once they adopt a solution called Lev AI, then the promise, more profound than fire or electricity, maybe it can begin to be realized, because that complexity of having multiple applications not communicating one with another is essentially eliminated. Lev AI makes building and maintaining a candidate and customer list far easier. Next couple of minutes, you'll understand why that statement is there. Creates confidence about what to say to each prospect or customer candidate throughout the engagement process. And that next bullet point, I kind of pick and choose the ones I comment on. That next bullet point is for me a really important one. Removes barriers that make you or that make members of your organization feel stuck. In my life, which has been a remarkably successful one in entrepreneurship, I've experienced joy at seeing other people succeed, and I've experienced frustration at seeing some other people not succeed. The difference in those who succeeded and those who did not was not the talent set or the skill set. It was not. The difference was the number of times the activities required for success were engaged upon. I've never met a single person who did all that was required to succeed, but did it poorly and therefore failed. I've never interacted with that person. Sadly, I've interacted with many people who were stuck. They just didn't do that which was required to succeed. See, Cicero said so many years ago, the skill to do comes from the doing. But if we're stuck and we don't do, then we don't develop the skill. And if we do develop the skill, we do what? We get more self confidence, more poise. It's one of the stepping stones towards a more correct self esteem. What are we doing if we remove these barriers? We're actually growing people. One of the comments I've heard is that AI will stop personal growth because people will rely upon it. No, it will not. When you come to understand it, AI will accelerate personal growth and it will take it beyond whatever its outward borders might have been prior to its introduction. You'll understand that in a moment. We will remove barriers that help make people feel stuck. Therefore, they will engage more frequently in the correct activities. They will develop more skill. This is actually a leadership development process. And how does it remove the fear of failure? By helping people stop failing. The easiest answer I could give you. There are a series of problems here. We're going to talk about each one of them quickly. Online presence and consistency, CRM, customer relationship management, website building capabilities, reminders to build your business to help people get unstuck, and a monthly leads program. One thing that's become very evident to me is it is if not easy, it is at least quite possible to accurately predict one's future results by measuring one's current influence. A person with a great deal of influence today, we can accurately project that they will have great results tomorrow. A person with very limited influence today is highly unlikely to have a breakthrough tomorrow. Therefore, one of the most obvious and logical things that we could do to help anyone improve their market value would be to improve their overall social media presence. Just about everything in our suite is designed to do just that. Every time we import someone into the CRM, a couple of things will happen. First of all, you'll start saving money. Why? Because there's no reason to continue your subscription for Go High Level or whomever else you're using as a CRM, because everything that your current CRM does, the solution built into Lev AI does, and it does it better. It does some things that your current CRM does not do, specifically with a simple screenshot import immediately. Your Lev AI solution goes to work and it scans the social media profiles of each imported contact, telling you what their hot buttons are, what's important to them, when is it important, why is it important, what is the degree of urgency. It delivers so much information, you will be stunned, thus giving you the ability to identify their areas of interest and to help your project, product, whatever it is, to help that which you offer meet one of their needs, when instead of trying to cause a person to be interested in what we offer, when instead we know exactly what the person wants and we're then able to find within their suite of wants, in our suite of solutions, the proper fix, and things get really, really easy. We will help you begin growing your social media profile immediately by scanning the profiles of each person who is in your network. And by doing so, we'll begin an interaction between creating commentary, likes, posts, and gradually growing social media presence. It all starts with simple screenshot import. Of critical importance, as we described, we learn all there is to know about what that contact wants. We call it contact enhancement, giving us, therefore, the ability to talk about what the contact wants to talk about instead of trying to convince them to be interested in whatever we are interested in. What a difference, what a transition, more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. We'll no longer have an expense in building and maintaining websites. I was stunned when one of the developers in my earlier conversation said, Randy, would you like to build a website? And I said, I'd love to. I don't know how. He just spun his computer around and said, click here, and 7 quick clicks later, really, 7 clicks later, I had a published website on the World Wide Web. And there was no added cost in so doing. It was included in the Lev AI solution. Then I think of this next thought, these reminders to build your business, reminders to stay on track. The easiest way that I can describe this from my life experience is I'm a pilot. I fly airplanes, and sometimes I fly in the clouds. I'm an instrument rated pilot. When I'm an instrument rated pilot, I have a map that I follow, just like you have a map that describes a highway on the ground, Interstate 80 or Interstate 15. There are highways in the sky. They're called airways, and they have a number assigned to them. But if I'm flying in the clouds, then I'm on an instrument flight plan. An instrument flight plan means there's actually a controller assigned to me who's paying attention to what I'm doing and letting me know if I get off track, keeping me safe and guiding me to my intended destination. Literally, what is occurring when a person begins using the Lev AI solution is, as opposed to flying by sight and trying to determine what is right, we've engaged them in an instrument flight plan where a knowledge, skillful controller guides them from the point of origin to the point of destination, how to get from here to there safely with steady prompts all day long. Not just a prompt telling us when we're off base, but a prompt telling us when what we're doing is exactly right. There is no doubt in my mind that that will help those people who, having been employees, and let's recognize that most people who enter into the world of entrepreneurship, they are changing. They were an employee, and as an employee, were able to be reactive to the demands of the employment. Suddenly, they find out those shoes don't fit. They want to work when they want, where they want, with whom they want, and if they want. They want to assign themselves their own worth. That's a description of entrepreneurship. That's why we don't see it on job postings. Suddenly, I find myself in the role of entrepreneur, and I must be proactive instead of reactive. How great is the value to have the Air Route Traffic Control Center guiding me and prompting me every step of the way from the point that I take off until I reach the intended destination. This is the difference in success and failure for countless people, not for a small percentage, for countless people. And that's another one of the reasons why this will be bigger than the Industrial Revolution and maybe 10 times faster. And then, in a continuation of that thought of helping a new participant in the thrilling and sometimes frightening world of entrepreneurship, how to get from that point of total reactivity to a point of total proactivity, I can think of nothing more conducive to that than giving to each participant the opportunity to respond to people who have asked for more information. Over 2 billion qualified leads exist in a lead pool, which is distributed to Lev AI participants. Never more than once in 11 months, and never more than twice in total. Not stale, not worn out, not multiple times called people. No, these are people who said, I want to know more about home-based business, about entrepreneurship, or I want to know more about AI, or a combination thereof, and they have clicked opt in to be contacted. Is it not true that your world would be easier in the world of all new participants if they got to start their month contacting people who ask to be contacted? See, once again, that does what? The skill to do comes from the doing. Much easier to contact someone who said, please call me, than it is to try to provoke that contact. And now we engage in the conversation. The skill to do comes from the doing. And as we engage in the process with people who ask for the information, that is in fact what is preparing us to talk to people who haven't asked for the information. There's a lot to this, folks, and there's a lot more than we've described so far. Every plan includes your own avatar. I call it a digital twin or digital clone that looks like you, or you can pick an avatar from the library, give it any script, or have your personalized GPT create it for you. You say a personalized GPT? Well, I know Chat GPT. This week, 700 million people on planet Earth logged into ChatGPT. And why did they do it? They did it because they were looking for answers to questions, solutions to problems. That's why they did it. And ChatGPT then scanned what is by definition a generic pool of information, because it was pulling information from all companies, all businesses, all, not from your business specifically. You see, your own Chat GPT can create the script, and it can create the script that is specifically drawn from the body of knowledge that is applicable to your enterprise, to your specific situation within that enterprise. And your AI twin, almost certainly, this is not quite like you, your AI twin can speak fluently in dozens of languages, 150 of them. In a couple of minutes, we're going to hear from my friend Larry Lane, and I have had the opportunity, as many of you have, to watch this evolution. As a couple of weeks ago, Larry took a picture of himself and he sent it off to the company. He could have chosen one from the library, but he took a picture of himself and he sent it off to the library. And then he gave it a script. Now, Larry could have chosen, if he wanted to use his personalized GPT to create the script. Given that Larry is articulate, he's a communicator, he's been doing what we do for a long time, my guess is that he didn't have to give it a script. My guess is that instead what he did was he simply uploaded files from YouTube. That's what I did. I've uploaded hundreds and hundreds of hours of YouTube recordings and of documents of everything that I've done for the last 35 years. All of that content now being available to be delivered literally around the world. Tomorrow or the next day, I haven't seen the email yet, but Blake will do the next corporate update. And in that next corporate update, I'm guessing you'll again see Larry speaking Hindi, and you might see him speaking Korean, and maybe you'll hear him speaking Japanese and other things. Others of us will begin receiving. I will have received my digital twin by then, and I will have had the first opportunity to send myself off and finally speak to my counterparts in Japan in their native language, no longer depending on the effectiveness of an interpreter to determine the effectiveness of the message. I am so unbelievably happy with this thought. Over the course of my career, I have always offered good products or services, always, but I have always offered premium priced products or services. Why? Because those products and services have always been priced to meet the needs of a compensation plan. This, for the first time in my career, is a product that is priced to meet the need of the consumer. You either cannot buy what we sell in its form, coming together all in one, communicating with one another. You either can't buy what we sell at all, no matter what you're willing to pay for it, or if you can find it, you're going to pay a whole lot more than what we charge. We have a basic package and a pro package. It is $49 per month or $99 per month. My AI video, this is your likeness, your voice, speaking your script flawlessly in 150 languages. And you can even use your personalized GPT to create that script. AI writing assistant, this one of the processes, a part of the process of growing your social media presence, writing intriguing, engaging posts that lead to likes, that lead to comments, that lead to interactions, which AI guides you through a process, growing your social media presence. Business profiles, if you have more than one message to deliver. Larry, you'll hear from frequently, is prominent in the Hollywood community. The message that he would communicate to many of those people would not be the same message that he would deliver to a network marketing organization that he's building. And so it would be appropriate to have more than one profile. The same personality, but two sets of information, like real life, called artificial intelligence, but it's a whole lot like real life. Your social media growth and engagement process is one of the biggest advantages. Why? Because that is the easiest way to grow your future value in the marketplace. Expand your influence, and you can expand your influence by expanding social media presence. Let Lev AI do it for you. The CRM with screenshot import gives you the opportunity to talk about what your contacts want to discuss, not what you want to discuss. This is of immeasurable worth. I love the fact the CRM has a guided process, a funnel to take a new contact or candidate from the point of the very first introduction all the way to the point of logical conclusion, whatever is the right choice for him or her, and more than 2 billion leads that we can search from. And I mean, we can drill all the way down. You can say, I want to talk to people who live in Chicago, Illinois, or I want to talk to people who live in Prague, Czech Republic, or I want to talk to people who live in Kiev, Ukraine. And I want them to be between the ages of 35 and 55. I want them to speak these many languages. Drill down as far as you want to go. And as part of your subscription, not at an added cost, you'll be provided with contacts each month that want to hear from you. What an amazing thought that is. And that leads us here. The interactive avatar. The density of your content will determine how conversant the avatar is. As I've referenced, I have uploaded literally hundreds of hours of content, and the depth and the richness of that content will make it appear to the one interacting with that avatar as though it were an actual live conversation. If one has somewhat more sparse content of their own, probably be a good idea to upload a thought leader's content, with approval, of course, to upload the content of the leader in this organization. Choose the content you want. You can upload it. And the truth is, your avatar will know a whole lot more than you know about one day into it. That is the truth. Will it replace you? No, because you are selecting what to teach it. Will it replace you? No, because it has no emotion and you do. You can replace the head part. You cannot replace the heart part. That's the part that will never be replaced with AI. But we can certainly put a great big multiplier on the head part, and that can be done 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, everywhere in the world. I am almost giddy with anticipation of this thought. Today, right now, I can be in one place, Heber City, Utah. That's where I can be right now. Starting next week, I can be in every home in the world if the world wants me there, whatever time of the day or night they want me there. speaking fluently in their language, with content so dense and rich that to the extent they're talking about home-based business, artificial intelligence, Lev AI, or entrepreneurship, it will be as though we were having a conversation. But finally, I will not have to rely upon the effectiveness of the interpreter standing beside me. Now my actual message is what they will receive. Your message is what they will receive. Folks, this is more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. It just took me from being able to be in one place at one time to being in all places at one time. How do you measure the value of that? How do you quantify it? How do you put a number on it? Well, you certainly can't do it here. Just in terms of subscriptions, this slide suggests that you can save a couple $100 a month. I think it's being awfully pessimistic. I think it would save you much more than that, 3 times that at least. But what it saves you is not the point. The point is, how dramatically does it multiply the possibilities? More profound than fire and electricity, folks. Change your thought about what is possible. Strong value for all members, accessible around the globe. High member satisfaction yields stable businesses. Those of you who've been around the direct selling industry, let's stop this thinking of spinning up a momentum cycle and then watching it fall to the ground, and spinning up a momentum cycle where the entire message is based upon the compensation plan possibilities. Let's build a business that is based upon the product usage capabilities among 7.75 billion people who will all be required to adopt AI. Let it be that we are the conduit to their adoption of accessible AI that they can use without going back to graduate school. Generous payout rates based on a stable business. What exactly is the market opportunity? I just hinted at it. Today, there are 8 billion people on planet Earth. 3.5% of them use AI. All of them will be compelled to use AI in the next decade, with most of them adopting in broad fashion in the next 4 or 5 years. The next 4 or 5 years will, upon looking back, will see the same kind of growth in some businesses that were provoked by computerization and by the internet, and we'll see the complete demise of some businesses that was provoked by computerization and the internet. We will see a complete change in societal norms as it occurred with the Industrial Revolution. We will see some businesses that arise from nowhere because of the new possibilities created thereby. And we will see some of those which are seemingly most prominent today simply disappear because no one wants to buy the collars that draft horses wear anymore. The market opportunity is to be the conduit to share the good news. And at the same time, we share the good news, give the word of caution. If you don't adopt, it will be at cost. If you do adopt, it will be at potential tremendous financial gain as well as personal gain, because you'll actually become more as a result of utilizing the product. If you choose to become a conduit to other people's use, you'll be paid. It's the way the world works, isn't it? Everyone you know, just stop and think about that for a moment. Everyone you know is going to use AI. If you introduce them to Lev AI, you'll be introducing them to the simplest, easiest to use, and yet most sophisticated AI that currently exists. And it will cost them a third of what they would otherwise pay. And so, are you doing it for you or are you doing it for them? Both. And when you are the one who introduces the product to them, they say, yes, you'll get paid 50% of their first month subscription. You will then be paid 20% every month ongoing for so long as they retain their position and continue utilizing. I don't really foresee anyone ceasing utilization. I can't think of anyone who stopped using a computer. I can't think of anyone who stopped using the internet. Now they might have in fact upgraded, sure enough, and they'll have those possibilities here. They might have shifted gears along the way. We're entering the arena right now with clear, obvious advantages. My belief is that we'll retain those advantages and stay ahead of the curve. There are those of you who, in addition to your own personal enrolling and introductions to other people, have grown accustomed to building teams. We offer a simple 8-level deep unilevel compensation plan. As I've just described, 20% on generation one. Remember again, 100% of the people you know are going to use AI. They're going to pay more for a product that is not as good unless you introduce them to AI, to Lev AI. If you make the introduction, you're going to get that 20% month after month after month after month, conceptually for decades. That's the truth. If you happen to be one of profound influence, I have one friend who has 25 million Instagram followers. All 25 million of them are going to use AI. If they use Lev AI through her imprimatur, can you see the numbers here, folks? more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. And for those of you who seek to build teams, we offer a simple 8 level compensation plan. 20%, as I've indicated, on generation one, and then 4% on the next 7 generations. And please understand this, that there is no artificial dilution of the dollar. When a dollar comes into the company is, okay, now this part is CV or PV or whatever it is. We'll pay commissions on part. No, a dollar in means commissions are paid on the dollar. An 8 level unilevel, check match on 4 levels of enrollment. This is where we're getting paid because other people are getting paid. And then infinity bonuses down each leg until you've recreated yourself in the compensation mechanism. Give you some very quick, short launch updates. The Lev AI application will go live. It appears next week. Now, notice I said it appears because I am not a company officer, employee. I don't know all that's gone on since Friday. I appear the Lev AI application will go live on Tuesday, and it's really, really cool. I have had the opportunity to experiment with the back office. And you're saying, wait a minute, Randy, we've all seen it if you're in the business. No, what you've seen is a very, very limited functionality that was made available to you in the pre-launch period. The entire back office is in final phasing of testing. I believe it will go live 2 days from now. That's what I believe, and it's really, really good. Team management, any of you who've already enrolled members need to place those members as you would like them in your team. Please log in to your existing back office if you're already a member, a pre-launch member, and look to the tab called resources. There you'll see a 3.5 minute video, which will show you the ease of placing each member as is appropriate. Multi-language support is already available to 10 languages now, many more coming. We've chosen to roll this company out globally. And by the way, when I say that, maybe not all at once. In fact, I believe that probably there will be a partial opening early this week and a more complete opening later in the week. The reason being that there are some markets where it is easier to get credit card processing lined up and other markets where it is more difficult. In those markets where it's somewhat more difficult or there might be a delay, it's important that we have other alternatives. PayPal is an alternative that is supported globally in almost all markets, almost all. If you live outside of the United States and Canada, please, please, please establish a PayPal account today or tomorrow. There is no cost associated with it. There is no downside. There is no reason not to. And if it winds up that your credit card does not run because you happen to live in the Congo and the Congo doesn't have real good relationships with the United States in terms of banking, then it may be that credit card doesn't process. Have PayPal. And then all of you, please um, join me in this thought of gratitude. I'm very grateful that the company has moved mountains to be able to begin accepting crypto as soon as the end of this coming week. And so those markets that perhaps don't open on the first day, either the end of this week or the first of the next week, when the crypto adoption is completed, then it will be a global operation at that point in time. Please follow us on social. Click any one of those QR codes. If you're not yet following each of these, do not miss a single announcement made by this company, especially not at this time. People have asked me how it is that I've been able to enroll so many people so quickly. And first, it's because of the power of the message. And what is that? So 35 days ago, I said yes to this, and we've enrolled 141 people now, Samantha and I. That's a lot of people. And those 135 have turned into getting awfully close to 40,000. It's not there yet, but it'll be over 37,000 in the next few minutes, I think. And so, how's that happening? Well, it's happening because a lot of people are running towards AI. A lot of people are running towards it, and all we kind of have to do is open our mouth and say, hey, run this way. But there are others who are kind of milling around. They don't know where to run. And so for these, we've created a simple sizzle video. It's only 90 seconds long, and it paints the picture. It tells people why Lev AI is special and why the time is now. And if you don't have it, then simply go to youtube.com/@GetLevAIHQ. There you'll find that little video. And what I do is every night, did it last night, did it the night before, and I'll do it tonight. Right before I go to bed, I write a little text. The text says something like this. Have you yet learned how to leverage AI? Do you understand that artificial intelligence can be the greatest gift in your life, or perhaps could cause some negative ramifications if you don't adopt it quickly? Please view the video right beneath that 90-second video is my enrollment link. And today was only the second day in the last 35 when I woke up in the morning, I didn't already have new enrollments. There have been days when I woke up in the morning, I had 9 new enrollments overnight while I slept. How did it happen? I copied and pasted the video. I went to my phone and I went down all of the A's, A, and I just clicked send, 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 B, 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 send, 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 send. The next night, instead of my phone contacts, it's Instagram contacts. The next night, it's Facebook Messenger contacts. The next night, it's WhatsApp contacts. No science, no uniqueness, no special thought. People are looking for AI. I just need to let them know that what they're looking for, we have here. Don't make this any harder than it is, folks. And understand this, if you don't send them a text, somebody's going to. If you don't call them, somebody will. I am thrilled to know that we have the unique possibility of participating at the absolute genesis and yet not suffer the risks that are typically a part and a parcel of that early positioning. Why? Because we are a portfolio company of, owned by Terry LaCour. LaCour Enterprises is the global service provider for Lev AI. Our unbelievable meteoric straight up rise in the last 4 weeks has been made possible by all the following. The core payment technologies. This is why no credit card processing over time will be a breeze for us as one of its primary businesses. Access to leading back office, commissions, and operating history. Hundreds of years of collective team experience, over 25 years of experience of history in the micro enterprise arena with over $7 billion in revenue to date. And so, under the overarching umbrella of LaCour Enterprises, under the direct personal guidance of Blake Schrader, we then create what? We create a leadership structure on the member side of the business, and to the extent that you become a significant part of the leadership foundation upon which others build in the future. Remember this. Remember this. This is more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. Can you imagine creating a foundation on which others build for a concept that's more profound than fire or electricity? Can you imagine creating a foundation that other people build upon in the future, which is going to be 10 times bigger than the Industrial Revolution and maybe 10 times faster? Well, if you can imagine that, then are you ready to lead the AI future with Lev AI? If so, it is now. Now is the time to start. I mean, literally now. And it says here, Lev AI will officially launch in 2 to 3 weeks. That slide is 2 to 3 weeks old. Okay. Lev AI will officially launch in 2 to 3 weeks. And that slide is 2 to 3 weeks old. Stay closely in tune to company announcements in the next 24 to 48 hours. Folks, if you have not yet registered to become an early participant, a founding member of this company, please ask whomever invited you here. Please, please, please ask them to send you the online enrollment form. Ask to receive the online enrollment form and complete it. You will then get your own enrollment link. Do what I did last night and the night before and the night before. Copy and paste a few links tonight. Send, 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 send. And tomorrow at noon Eastern time, all those people who received the message, you can invite them to come to a business presentation. You can go from hearing about this the first time tonight to being in business tomorrow and be profitable tomorrow night. I want to introduce you to my friend Larry Lane, a superstar always in his life, an incredible superstar with this company right here, right now. Larry, tell folks what's going on.
Hey, Randy, absolutely. Just hit 31,000. So excited. I've never built a team that fast in 30 days. So incredible leaders. But I just got off a Zoom right with my Canada team right before this Zoom. And there was a lady on there. Her name was Tanya. And she said, for the last 24 hours, I've shared this with 12 people and all 12 of them signed up. I have not got a single no. And that's never happened before. And then the leader of that team is a guy named Alan. He's up in Canada. And Alan is absolutely incredible. He said, I've been networking over 40 years. I've never been positioned at the beginning of something so big. A lot of times we might get in 6 months after they launch, a year after they launch. We're right at the beginning. So, I just want, like Randy just said, every single business on the planet will eventually be using this technology. They just don't know it yet. But we know it because when you get that interactive twin, and there was a gentleman I just talked to with one of my friends, Rodney, he said, I've got several businesses, I was like, you can literally create a website for every business, and for $99, your interactive twin can run all 5 businesses for you. It can handle the leads for all 5 businesses for you. What we're talking about here is so much bigger than network marketing. This is something that is literally going to change planet Earth. And we are so lucky to be in front of that with a $49 package and a $99 package. The other thing you're going to hear is, I can do that on an app. I can get my twin on an app. Well, go out and share that app with 1,000 people and tell me if that app company sends you any form of monetization or any literally reward at all. They're not going to. What we're going to do with this and the brilliance of Leverage AI, this is going to educate people on how to use AI, how to use it for their business, and how to actually learn and earn with AI. And everybody's going to be looking for that, because when AI starts happening, it's going to be cool and it's just going to be the hottest thing out there. It's already happening now. People are going to want to monetize it. We're already going to be sitting in position to do that. So Randy just told you we got maybe 1-2 days before we launch. You need to be sharing this with everybody you know. You have a free link right now. They can literally grab a free position and they can get that VIP look in the next couple of days when we go live. But this is something you do not want to miss. And like Randy said, there's some people that are absolutely running. They've got the vision. They've signed up 30, 40, 50 people, and they're going to continue to sign people up. Randy mentioned the lady with 20 million followers that he knows. 20 million followers. I guarantee you one thing, on all her posts, she's probably speaking English. Think about when she gets her Lev AI technology and all of a sudden she's speaking Japanese, she will have probably 10, 20,000 followers that say, hey, I want to do that. Give me the link. I want to speak Japanese. That's how easy this is going to be. You're not selling a lotion. You're not selling a potion. You're not selling crypto. You're showing a technology that you're going to have access to, and everybody's going to want it. It's actually going to be easier to build a business once we launch, because you're going to have everything at your fingertips. You're going to be able to show them. Right now, we've got a couple of great videos and all that. It's going to get even easier to build it. But Randy, I have never been
Thank you.
more excited in my entire life about this. And I'll tell you, a lot of people are lucky to be on this Zoom because you know about this first. You might not ever get another opportunity in your lifetime to be at the beginning of something that's going to be so profound. But I'm telling you, Leverage AI is going to change people's lives. Why not start with your own? Start with your own first and just start sharing it. So Randy, honored to be here, buddy. I can't thank you enough.
We smile a lot right now, folks. And if you're not smiling yet, join us. Join us. It won't take very many days, and you'll suddenly start to feel giddy like we do. Larry, thanks a lot. God bless every one of you. Have a beautiful Sunday evening. The future is bright, folks. Stay closely attuned to all that goes on in the next 24 to 48. See you along the way. Bye bye.